but you always send a shining on.
Pew, 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 pew.
Ooh, you can tell I got some sun. And there is what do I have on my arm?
The beam from the sunlight.
I have a new tattoo on my arm there.
It's from one of the windows.
Yeah, I'll get it in a second.
I'm
not too concerned about it. Too busy folding all of these names that we have. Why is it so warm in here? Did we not we didn't leave the AC on earlier?
No, I didn't leave the AC.
Dang. Oh, that's right, because you asked me if we were going to be back out here.
Yep.
And I was like, no. What's up, y'all?
What's going on, everybody?
Happy 4th of July, y'all. Happy Independence Day.
Old Way Steve is in the house. Ridden with Kim and Howard. How you doing?
Thanks.
Duncan 1900.
Hello.
Naturally NC.
Yep. D, what's up?
Mimsy's Garden. D. I know I'm missing some folks. Where's Cecilia? Hidden within myself.
I think that's Hidden Within Myself. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's Michelle, right?
And there you go. Not. Maybe people don't want their
name.
No,
she said that we could last time. I think that's her name. I'm just asking.
Don't.
Look who's in the chat. What's up, Amy? I got a son.
You know what they're having right now?
What are they having right now?
They're going to be chomping on Dan's booty.
So. And there's the other half.
What's up, Snoz?
The not so good looking half.
The nose. Toucan Sam. Follow the nose.
So mean. Hey, Mark. Windswept. What's up? Hackett's Healing Hollow. Yes, Michelle. There you go. Message from Terry. You need to go to their live streams as he has not seen you in a while.
I don't know who she's talking about.
I don't know. Long few weeks. Hello, Niana.
Niana's in the
Shayla,
house.
what's up? Hello, everybody.
Amy says she's on her phone, and that's why she's
slow.
Typing slow.
You did not wear your sun hat.
What truth be told is that's not the reason why she's typing slow.
Oh.
Because Brett is right beside her going, how do you spell the?
No, D, I didn't wear my hat today. It was first thing in the morning, and to be quite honest, I completely forgot about it. Terry did ask to relay the message, and
You're going to have to be a little bit more specific than just Terry.
Yeah, we know a couple of... Oh, poor boy.
Okay. Yep.
Hello, Teresa.
So, we have had a semi-quasi very interesting week.
Hey, April.
We had to... we had to deal with some issues. That's why we didn't family issues and professional issues.
Oh, poor boy had a message for y'all last night on our live stream. Gotcha.
Oh.
Ooh, we processed about 50 cups of elderberries. Only our third picking. Wow. All right. Honeystead. I was like, I just went to turn my head and realized what I saw. What's up, Kaylee? All right. So go ahead with what you even remember what you were saying, because I don't. Be honest. I had a very interesting week, is what you were saying.
Yes. And we had some family, professional, personal drama issues that we kind of had to deal with. But that's why we didn't get any videos out, because we had to kind of nip some things in the bud and rectify, I guess is the best way to Just
resolve.
say it. Rectify, resolve some situations. And we got it all kind of worked out, Thursday?
It was a very interesting week. We'll have to. I'd like to share the story because I feel like it was a God thing.
Oh, it was totally God.
I definitely want to share it. So
totally the Lord.
Since everything is all good, like all the way around, it's not something that I can't.
I got
talk
peace
about.
with it. So if you wanna, it's your story.
So
and let me go ahead and say, no people were harmed in the making of said story.
So
kind of close.
So we have been very fortunate the last couple of months. When I left my last job, I had a pretty decent size commission check that was still owed to me, and I had a bonus that was coming to me. So we had a little bit of extra cash kind of stored away. And then when the stimulus check came, we had a little bit more money stored away. So while we haven't been like just blowing through money, we haven't been like counting every single penny. Well, Jason and I started paying attention to some stuff and realized that the job that I'm at is not covering our bills. And we weren't really paying attention to it as well as we probably should have been. But part of that was because I was driving back and forth every day. I was having to get lunch. I would get a snack here or there. So there was a bunch of little factors that kind of played into everything. And we started realizing that we couldn't keep doing this because what I was doing was eating into our project. I don't get any ice?
No.
Okay. So it was kind of eating into our savings and into our project money. And so we were like, we really got to start talking about this. Like, we got to start figuring out if I need to go to my boss and see if there's any other way that, I can earn any kind of incentives or anything like that. And on, what was that, Tuesday? On Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday, I was at work and somebody at work, they busted a piece, and it was very important that the lady wanted to have that exact piece of the slab. So rather than use the rest of the slab that we had to order another slab. And normally that company can come right to us that day with the slab. And for some reason or another, they couldn't, and we needed it that day.
Jesus.
And I was the only person that was available to go pick up this slab. Now, keep in mind, I have never transported a slab before in my life. I have driven a 3500 or a 350 truck before, but I've never hauled anything that weighed like 1,000 or 1,200 pounds and is like 6.5 feet tall. And was basically the full length of the bed. We had to let the tailgate down, and it hung out to the very back end of the tailgate. So I was like, when I work for a company, I'm all team whatever that company is. Like, wherever you need me, if you have enough faith in me to do it, I'll go do it. So they're like, yeah, you get in the truck, go to this supplier, go pick up this slab. So I drove out there. And the gentleman there immediately knew who I was, which was strange to me because I've never had any kind of interaction with this company ever. And that's good. And so he was like, oh, hey, Robin. And I was like, I don't know who you are. And he's like, my name is Philip, and I was like, okay, I'm here to pick up a slab. And he's like, oh, no, I know who you are. And I was like, oh, I work for Hard Rock. He's like, oh, no, I know who you are. And I was like, what are you talking about? He said, well, we have been in the market to hire somebody as a salesperson for several months. And I reached out to the people that we were in the area that we were looking for and see if they knew anybody who was looking for a job that was a salesperson or that would be good in sales. And he said, and your name came up several times. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah. He said, I didn't put this together until later, but he also asked me, one of the salespeople from their Atlanta, their Atlanta location knows the salesperson, our Atlanta salesperson when I was at Best Cheer. So I'm even wondering if he had reached out to him and had asked him if he knew anybody that was looking for a sales position. So long story short, I said, well, no, but if I know of anybody, I'll let you know. And so then that evening, it's really strange. That evening, I got back to work, and Janie is the girl that I work with at Herd Rock, and I came back and I said, man, you would never, I was still shocked because I don't feel like I have that kind of a reputation. And so I come in and I was like, Jenny, you'll never, I got there and Philip already knew who I was. I've never even talked to him. I was like, and he was saying that they had been looking for somebody and several people had given him my name. And she was like, well, if I was you, I'd take it. And I was like, wait, what? She's like, they're a really good company to work for. Anytime their salesperson comes or their truck driver comes, they're always talking about how great they have it there. And so it kind of, obviously that little seed started to kind of sprout a little. So then I get home that evening, and what I was telling y'all about our financial stuff, we had not really had that conversation together yet. He had it in his head, and I'd had it in my head, and we both knew that it was going to be a problem soon, but we hadn't talked about it together. So when we sat down, he was like, look, we really need to talk about this. We got to figure something out. And we were trying to brainstorm some things on the farm and some different things like that. And I said, and I didn't say anything to him. So then the next morning I'm on the way to work, and Jason texts me and he's like, you have to talk to your boss. You don't have a choice. You really need to talk to him. This is a lot, it's very serious, starting to eat into projects that we really want to get done. And I was like, okay. I said, but you know what? Before I do that.
Well, you have to be pushed.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't like confrontation, and you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Right.
And so then I have to be the butt and push till you get mad at me. And then...
So anyway, I reached out to the guy that I had talked to the day before, and I just asked him, I said, if...
Mama T!
Basically, what are the details of what you're hiring for? And he told me what the position was, and he told me, basically what they were expecting, and I asked him what would the pay be. And he said, well, it's commensurate upon your experience and how much, your ability to bring in sales. And just out of curiosity, I was like, well, what if it was me? And he told me, and I was like, oh, God. I don't have a choice now. So after that, I had also reached out to a couple of other people just to see, what was out there, because I hadn't really looked. And so I asked a few other people that I knew that were looking to hire somebody. And they were all really good options. And so the next day I get to work, and it's just really weighing on me. That was Thursday. It was really weighing heavy on my mind. And so about around lunchtime, I was just they could tell I was not in a good mood, because it was just still weighing on me that I now have this opportunity to, kind of get a lot closer to paying our bills. And it would be something that I'm really good at. And so when everybody got back from lunch, I went to talk to Janie. And I said, look, I don't think I can keep working here. So I don't know what to do. It's just not paying the bills. And she was like, well, you need to reach out to GK and see if they'll hire you. And I was like, wait, you'd be okay with that? She was like, I said, because I'd like to work there, but I don't want to step on anybody's toes, because y'all already use them, and I don't want it to be like this personal thing, because it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with that. And so she was like, oh, no, absolutely. So reached back out to them, and they were like, sure. So starting Monday, I will have a new job. So bidding war in the making. That's the crazy part, is I'd already told this other guy that I would take the job starting Monday, and another one of my contacts reached out to me and said, give us a few weeks, we might have something for you. And I'm like, I can't wait. I can't wait a couple weeks. So,
we could, but it would just put some of the projects on hold, and you don't want to do that.
Mm-mm.
And one of the reasons why that I think that they were okay with Robin leaving without working out a notice or anything was
because I did offer one.
Was one, they knew they couldn't honor their end of the deal, but they also spent way more than that what they were thinking on these 2 machines there, and so letting Robin go ahead and leave frees up 2
paychecks.
Paychecks,
and not just that, but it also, if they knew that I was going to be making more money, they're not the type of people. One thing that I really like is they're not the type of people to say, no, you need to stay working for us making less money when you just told us that you can't pay your bills. Like, that's not who they are. So they were very, very nice and considerate about that. Brett, I just want you to know just how lame my notifications are, because I'm not going to say who I think is lame. But I just got your notification for your Thursday chat. So I'll be there in a minute. So anyway, that's so exciting. I'm proud of you for taking a leap of faith. Even Janie and I were talking about it that Thursday. Is I was like, how often would you get sent to go pick up a slab? She's like, never. Like, we send one of the guys. Like, it's not normally a thing. She's like, and the fact that he just happened to be there and talk to you, that it was definitely a God thing. So we're happy for that. Of course, it does mean I will be back on the road again. But one thing that we've realized is Robin's pretty good at sales.
So any natural remedies for ulcers, high blood pressure, stress, anxiety that you guys may have, go ahead and send them to me via email, because I'm probably going to run through all of them.
Well, that was my big hesitation, is because I know how stressed Jason would be while I was on the road, especially after I had my accident.
Can I just go like a timeout for a second?
Yeah.
And can I just share and be just 100% honest?
Sure.
You've been miserable the last 3 months.
I have.
And you've been miserable kind of to live with.
I'm sorry.
For the last 3 months. I'm not saying this to hurt your feelings.
I'm sorry.
But, even the girls are kind of like, woo, Mom's going to work. And then it's like, oh, she's coming home. Let's make sure we got this, and this done. And it's because now that you've got...
That makes me sad.
Now, but wait a minute. But now that you got this job in sales...
I'm crying. You're making me sad.
You are going to be a lot happier, and it's going to improve everything in the household. I'm not trying to make you sad or anything. I'm just saying that this is just... It just reiterates that it's a God thing, that it was messing up the family dynamic, because, it's true. When mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
And it wasn't that this is the thing, like, I don't know, I never really, when I left Arby's, I left because it was a natural progression. I was having to drive a really long time every day, and I was making nothing, like, the money was not there. And for me to take a job that was 8 miles away, it was a no-brainer. So me giving my notice there was not really a big deal. then when I was at Best Cheer, there was an obvious reason why I needed to leave that job. So it was a big, there was some personal conflict there. So it was, I need to quit. Like, there's a reason. This thing with this job is very hard because I love the environment. Like, the people there are, it's just, it's pleasant to be with the people that are at my job. But the actual, like, what I was doing, I am a perfectionist and I like to have control over things. And when I go to work and somebody else is scheduling everything, which is fine, that's their job, but I don't have any control over when things are getting scheduled or even knowing when they're getting scheduled, because that's something totally different. And then I'm doing something that I've never done before that has to be perfect because you're cutting stone, and I don't understand it quite as well as everybody else because there's fabrication stuff and things like that that I don't know about. Anytime I would make a mistake, they were always very forgiving, like, it's not a big deal, we'll fix it. But the thing is that I had a hard time with that. Like, oh crap, I didn't realize that, or oh crap, I left that off, And so I was always very apprehensive doing what I was doing. And so I was not as comfortable doing what I was doing. And so the idea, and then that was the other thing I was telling Jason, when I went to that stone supplier, like, I walked in and I was like, I gotta look. And he was like, sure, go ahead. And it was like a kid, and I'm embarrassed to say this, but I was like a kid in a candy shop because I was like, oh, that's really pretty. Oh, that's really ugly. Like, back to what I was used to and what I knew. And so, when I came back, I think even Janie kind of recognized that as well. So it's kind of exciting to be back doing what I know and being a lot more confident in what I know. And I think that's where the being miserable was coming from. So Farmer Brad was saying he took a $20,000 pay cut because pay cut.
Pay out.
Oh, did he change it? Because that says pay cut because of a terrible boss. You're like an adult, Abby. She gets easily emotional. So, Robin, would you say you could sell a rich woman in white gloves at Ketchup Popsicle in July? If I believed in the Ketchup Popsicle, yeah, absolutely. I hated my last boss. I was self-employed. I love my coworkers and most of my patients. I don't love the corporation I work for, so I get it. It can be a real personal conflict. That's the way I was with Arby's. When I was at Arby's and I was working for a franchise, I was thrilled, even when I worked 80 miles away. But when our franchise got bought out by the corporation, I was no longer happy, and that was so I can understand that. So my first job at Hardee's, I dropped a bucket full of spicy chicken. Wasn't for my coworkers, wound care program, and my patients. I mean, I've lasted as long as I did. Yeah, I mean, and that was the thing. Like, if it hadn't been about something as concrete as money, I probably would have stayed there, But the fact that it was no longer becoming productive for me to do that, it made sense to make the change. And I didn't realize I was making everybody miserable.
Oh, you were going to be making a change whether you wanted to or not.
So, anyway. So, 20K giveaway.
Oh, you want to do that now?
Well, I'm a little disappointed because we have 100 people easy in our
113
in our email list, and there are 48 people in here, How many of you got the email about the 20K giveaway?
Are you not really gonna scold these people?
Mm-mm. No, because I'm starting to wonder if, just like how I received somebody's email back in spam, if people got it in their spam and didn't see it. Because we even got something from Green Dream Project, didn't even realize. I just went to go check the spam just in case somebody sent us something.
Is it hot in here to you?
Yes.
I don't know what's going on with this AC.
So I was just curious how many of you, because we didn't get, I think we only got eight people that sent back the email response. So I was just curious because you did something because the air started moving again.
Yeah.
April Hill, yes you did. You got the email for the 20K giveaway because you answered it. David Seymour, welcome. We have an email list, and we, believe it or not, Michelle, yours is the one that ended up in my junk mail. I almost didn't even see it, and I was checking it right before we got on here to make sure I had all the names, and I saw it in there. Matter of fact, I don't even know if I read it all the way through. I was just like, oh my gosh, it's in spam. Dee, I don't think I have your email information. Yeah, get on the winner email list. There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I only had like 8 people answer, and so I was just wondering if it's possible that a lot of people, if it's showing up in your spam, MailChimp is not supposed to send it to spam, but I have a feeling that, you know, some people aren't getting it. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to take it back. Okay. So, these are the names I have. There were 8 of them, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, there was 8 people. So we're going to put everybody's names in the hat. Lots of mine go to spam folder. I just forget to check it. Yeah, that's... The only reason I had been checking it is because I had emailed a company asking about a possible sponsorship, and I haven't heard from them. So I was checking my spam just to make sure that we didn't miss anything. So...
I probably should have read the owner's manual on this thing.
Why?
I just don't know if it's running right.
That's lovely. Alright, so we have almost 50 people in here. So we'll go ahead and pick a name. Woo! That's probably the one we probably should have picked. We didn't get it. I gotta check and see if y'all's email is in our list. Now, I have noticed that some people unsubscribe to the email list. If you unsubscribe to the email list, you're not getting the emails anymore. So...
I did good. So, yep, that's who won.
You're not going to tell everybody?
Oh, I gotta share who won?
Yes, you have to share.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yes.
Well, they have to be present to win.
They are.
This individual is here. And it kind of warms my heart that this person won
Yeah.
because they've been having a rough go at it here recently. But the winner of the 20K giveaway is... See, I can come all the way up here.
You still can't see it.
And you still can't see it. Still can't see it. Still can't see it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, oh, oh.
There it is.
There it is. So, congratulations, Mr. T.J. Miller.
Oh, I thought you were going to put them all back on your head.
Nope. Congratulations, sir.
He said, why would you do that? All right, so if you have not received any emails from us and you thought that you were on the email list, go ahead and shoot us a new email request, and we'll make sure that you're on the list for the next one, which I'm sure will be fairly soon.
Soon.
Yeah. Second, so I can just give myself the cutting mat. Yeah. Yeah, you can.
Pretty much.
I'm going to tell you, TJ, we've been using that cutting mat like crazy lately.
Yes.
Because we've been dicing a lot of vegetables to put into all of our meals. And so that's the one that we have that will actually, like, you know, curve so you can, you know, scrape it into a bowl or whatever. Because I'm messy, so.
How'd that go?
So.
One more time. Show us how that went.
Kimberly Williams, what's up? So, yeah.
Country
no,
homestead
you can just
preacher.
forward that to Mincy. He said, good, I need one. Yep, give it to yourself. There you go.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it has Big Bear Homestead on it, you can go ahead and give it to yourself and then make a cooking video.
There you go.
And have it in your cooking video.
There you go. Can do that. So, how has everybody's week gone? I know ours, like we said, ours has been...
Ours was stressful.
Yeah.
It was stressful. And the whole reason why we didn't put any videos out is because we knew you guys could tell that it would have just been putting the
You'd
video
been able
out.
to see it.
Putting the video out because our minds and our focus and our attention was all on this. We got X amount left in the savings account, and we're going to run through that in this amount of time, and so we need to remedy that. And praise God, it has been remedied
quickly.
Very and
quickly.
We can keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. That's right. So we've got. We also we went and looked at a herd of goats this past week.
We sure did.
Yeah, we looked at. Congratulations, Mama Z's. Yeah, we went and looked at a herd of pygmy goats, and it just didn't feel right. Just didn't feel like it was time to jump into that. We have plans for it. We just haven't quite. Wow. Really busy at work. I know we sold over 200 pounds of cheese. That's crazy.
Wow, y'all are really cutting the cheese.
Yeah, so Steve said we're trying not to melt. We built a duck house and a chicken coop, kinda. Yeah, we've been trying to get some stuff done. Yesterday, since we had the day off yesterday, we went and did our feed run a day early, just in case they were closed today. Mm-hmm. And came back and we started to work on our garden. It feels like it's cool now. It's getting cooler.
Well, I moved it all the way over here. It should be.
So we
I'm going to have to build a stand to hold that hose up.
we started doing working on the garden, and we weren't thinking, honestly. We went out there thinking that it was earlier in the day than it really was. And we ended up being out there in the heat of the day, and we were taking our breaks, but it just wasn't enough. We went to go into town to go get some stuff that we needed, and I got a horrible headache. Came home and laid down, and this morning when I woke up, I was like, we're not doing that again today.
And we're going to start doing something here in a couple of weeks. I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but we, Carol has started, Carol's always been very artsy, creative.
That's a good word.
And, she wants to start making some money to be able to pay for her own art supplies, to be able to upgrade to the different brushes and stuff.
Well, and like right now she's doing
water-based paints and
acrylic but
paints.
she's looking into getting into oil. But that costs a little bit more. And now, before anybody says anything, we never told her she couldn't. She has been very conscientious about the cost, because right now to her it's just a creative outlet for her. And so she always wanted to get the cheap brushes and the cheap canvases and the cheap paint. And we took her yesterday. We were like, okay, this is the cheap paint. This is the next step up before you get to professional. So maybe you need to start looking at that. But Mom, they're more money. And I'm like, I'm willing to invest in your creativity. So get over it.
But she kind of was pushing, and she would like to do some paintings of like homestead stuff, of whether it's cows grazing or
I don't know. She might not. She wants to paint, and she wants to be able to turn a little bit of her hobby into something that she can generate
like
a little bit
like a small business.
Right.
And so one of the things that we're going to start to do is offer one of her paintings up for an auction or sale here every week, and then the money that painting brings goes straight to Carol, with her knowing that it goes straight to
her art supplies.
Mm-hmm. Stuff for the cameras or whatever it is that she needs to be able to do her thing, because she also does photography, and so she wants to start making postcards out of her pictures.
So that's good. There's at least 2 people that are like, absolutely.
Yeah. And so, and I think once you guys see it, you're going to be like, holy smokes, this kid, she could,
well, we've always said this, even with her photography, I would love to be able to see through her eyes.
Yes.
Because to me, she sees things differently than most people do. Even colors. The way she sees color is different than the way people, people see color.
Mama, yes, that's what we're talking about. We're going to be showing them on here, and then near the, we'll have it up here.
We'll put them up somewhere.
Put it up somewhere, and then at the end, near the end of the night, we would auction it off.
Yeah. Windswept said she should do a mural in one of the buildings. She is actually going to do it on some of our raised beds.
Well, she's already started on the stepping stones.
Yeah, she started painting on her stepping stones, just kind of as I think she was expecting us to fuss, like, and then we were like, oh, that looks really cool. Why don't you do a raised bed? She's like, was
Well,
expecting
when we
a
were
different
building
reaction.
when we were extending that walkway, she was like, "This one looks like a steak." I said, "You should paint that on there. You should make it look like a steak."
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to talking about it, and we figured, oh boy, Apollo would probably try to eat it, so that would kind of be counterproductive.
Yeah.
So, because I want to encourage this with her because this brings her joy, it brings her peace, and
yeah, she can be having like the biggest up of a mood swing, and if you just tell her to go to her room and just chill for a little while, you'll go in there and she's painting and she's completely,
Mama Old Ways, that's a good idea. We have not thought of anything like that because this is all kind of new to us, and I do want to, just like how Blaze was with cooking, I really want to fan this fire, but I don't want to be the, because with Blaze, I had to kind of walk on eggshells with it and just show up with a cookbook, or show up with some new cooking utensils or spices or something, and not really push. Wanted to try to be like I was super involved with it because when you do that with kids, with some kids, they're like, oh, well, Dad thinks this is cool. I ain't doing this no more. I was kind of wanted to do this to be a little rebellious or whatever.
Yeah.
And so with Carol, it's one of those that I really, she is so talented, like scary talented. Like she could be a modern day Picasso. And and with that being said, artists for the most part starve all the time, but I want to kind of help her get a solid footing, start maybe getting her name out there a little bit, so that way maybe she doesn't starve as much.
Yeah.
And then just think, if she becomes like super famous, then y'all got some of her first paintings that could probably be worth millions of dollars.
She got a real nice art business going. Yeah. Good. But yeah, so she definitely. So we went and picked her up some more canvases for her to paint on.
Yeah, we're trying to get her to go with Sydney and Tori in December, or not December, but in the fall. But it really depends on what the Red Dragon is doing at that particular point in time, and how it's limiting travel, because they got some really good art museums and stuff down there, Tori was saying, that could really motivate, encourage, inspire.
And expose her too, because look around, there ain't much of that going on around this area. So the only art she might see is some graffiti somewhere.
Nabaco Locos. The Snake Kings.
So another cool thing, staying on the subject of Carol also really likes astronomy.
Tonight
is a penumbral lunar eclipse.
See how big that word was? That's why my whole job for that intro was just say tonight.
So they say that the best
what
time
is that
to see
eclipse?
Something about how the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon don't line up exactly correct, and so you'll only see a certain part of the moon or something. I don't know. But the best time to see it is like at midnight or 12:30 tonight. So the girls are like the girls are like, oh, well, that gives us an excuse to stay up. So we went and got some chocolate and marshmallows and stuff to make s'mores, and we're going to kind of wait for
I'm
it.
going to be burning the stump and waiting on it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like last night. Okay. Robin thought I was crazy last night. But we came home and Robin wasn't feeling very well.
I passed out. I did not feel good at all.
Well, I went out and mowed the grass.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't want me to mow the grass at night, why they put headlights on the lawnmower?
That's a good question. I mean, why would you? Why would you put headlights on something if you don't intend to do it at night in the dark?
So, I was out there.
I did hear that too, because when I got out of the bathtub and was getting ready to go into bed, I kept hearing, and it's not a very loud, because it's a battery operated one, and so it's not very loud, but you could hear the hum of it, and I was like, is he mowing the grass at 9 o'clock at night? But really, when you're living in the area that we live in, and it gets to 100 degrees in the middle of the day.
I still sweated like a stuck hog.
Yeah. And what we're finding is it's not necessarily about the heat, it's the heat and the direct sunlight, because the direct sunlight is what sucks it out of you. And so today the temperature was the same that it was yesterday, but the difference is that we, at about 11:30, we called it quits for the morning. And then I noticed today around 5 o'clock, the sun has come over its path where it's now shading the big garden. And so come 5 o'clock, I can get back out there because I'm not in the direct sunlight anymore. Mm-hmm. And so that's pretty much what we have to do is kind of, when we have everything growing in the big garden, we will be harvesting after 5, or before 11:30, but preferably after 5. Because that shade, it's not just, not having the direct sunlight, but you have shade as well. So, makes it kind of nice. Mm-hmm. So.
But, last night while we were out there, when I was a kid, you could lay down in the grass and you could be guaranteed to see 1 or 2 satellites go by at night. Mm-hmm. Well, I've been hunting them for the longest time. And I don't know if it's due to our location or what, but I haven't really seen any.
Huh.
Well, last night we saw one.
Oh, cool.
And I got Dessa to see it, and I told her, I said, go get Carol so she can see it real quick. But by the time Carol got out there, because she was like Eeyore.
Yeah.
It was already over there, and with a full moon, it drowned it out, and we lost it. So she didn't get the opportunity to see it.
Right.
So I am.
Killer Rose Homestead, what's up?
I am hoping that we get to see 1 or so tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure we'll be able to see a good portion tonight. I'm still curious to see if we're going to have any people blowing fireworks around us.
I hope not, because we've been dry. Like, we had one Yahoo last night that was blowing them and started, had them aimed towards this dry field over here, and I'm kind of like, dude, really? Because that thing is going to go up like a straw house. What's the matter?
I just had an ice cube that did not taste good.
I'm sorry. Why are you eating ice? And
That's
because
horrible.
if that field goes up, my place is going to go up. But.
Oh, that's cool. From his backyard, from time to time, you can see the space station.
Oh, that's cool. How do you know it's a space station? Does it have a banner on it or something?
Could be.
Or maybe he can see it through a telescope or something.
Ah, yeah, that's coming up. Stacy's surgery. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we rescued some plants from the feed and seed yesterday.
So here's the thing that if you're thinking about getting into homesteading and you're kind of like on the fence, I need to prepare you for some things. You will get so involved in homesteading and the care of animals, plants will really start to become a major focus in your life. To the point where if you happen to see 10 zucchini plants that just don't seem like they're getting any love, you will most definitely buy them and bring them home. You become like a crack addict for plants, and especially like things like chickens. Whoa. You become a super chicken head crack addict. I mean, you can't walk unless you get your birds from McMurray. And then you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you have the best birds on the planet.
And you don't want to expose your great birds to anything else. Like, that's the thing. Like, when you're rescuing birds from places like Tractor Supply or wherever,
it's
you're
not
possibly
that.
bringing in...
It's not that. You're afraid that your super strong birds will eat the weaker birds.
Yeah.
And your heart just can't take that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't do it. So, night, April.
And so you literally have issues. There's no medication for this, so don't even ask.
Too late, Jason.
You'll have this radar.
Homesteading is therapeutic and may result in impulsive purchasing.
You'll have this radar that goes off. You'll be driving down the road, just straight driving down the road, and you will pass a feed and seed or a Lowe's or a nursery, and you'll twitch. And you'll be like, there's some plants that are not getting the proper love and attention. Nobody is talking to them. And you pull in, and because of your radar, you're able to walk straight to them, and then you start to have a conversation with a plant. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Zucchini plant, that nobody is loving you. You're going to come home with Mama, and I'm going to put you in my big garden where you got good, nutritious soil, and I'm going to water you.
You'll be able to stretch and grow as big as you want.
Welcome to my world.
And then you go into the feed and seed people and say, you should be ashamed of yourself. You need to give me those plants. I will take care of them.
Yeah, there's no 12-step program for this, even though I'm probably going to start
Mama T
one.
says I need a support group. Almost came home with lambs. Oh my gosh. Kim does this. Yeah, and the thing that's sad is the week before I saw them, and they were looking kind of peaked then, and I was like, Jason, they have plants there that are looking like they're just struggling. They're not taking good care of them. And Jason's like, well, go back and get them. It was after the time that they closed that day. So when I went there yesterday, I was like, you guys have plants out there that are like about to die. Like, what do you want to do with them? And he was like, give me $1 a piece for them. I'll be fine with that. And I'm like, okay. So I got like 10 of them.
No. But let Daddy see a firearm being mistreated in like
Firearm
academies.
being mistreated, whatever.
Academy or Walmart. Or,
Kim is banned from Lowe's.
Let me see something like that happening. And, oh no, it's a tough world out there. They got to learn to survive on their own.
They do.
Let me see some tools being, or toolbox being, like that big toolbox at Harbor Freight. That is toolbox abuse of what they're doing with that toolbox. It needs a home.
Brenda said I can spot a poor plant in need of someone else in someone else's yard, and will stop to tell them how to care for them, and they send them home with me. Now that's funny. Yeah, so
The door just doesn't swing both ways.
I'm afraid once we get property that Stacy will be bringing home every animal and plant she sees. Yeah, get ready for that.
Yeah, that's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It does happen. My Tractor Supply has plants that need to be watered and pruned. It's really tempting to bring them all home. Yeah, we have definitely this.
See?
No.
They
Not even.
They need parents too.
No. They do. They're called Smith and Wesson. I want to water the plants at Walmart. Everybody wants to water the plants at Walmart. Our Walmart doesn't do a very good job of watering their plants either. I don't buy trays of plants at Lowe's. I buy racks of plants. Kim and Howard, I have an old 22. Was Dad's, needs love. Can't find a gunsmith to work on
Stop.
it. I know. Steve used to go to yard sales and look for craftsman tools that were mistreated.
See, I cannot wait to be able to start to do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's how I found the lathe. The joiner was just a God-given
Another
gift.
God thing, yeah.
But the table saw, you know.
Yep. Yeah, even the table saw, we got it at Habitat
Yeah.
for Humanity.
I just got to figure out how to put some type of a riving knife or some splitters on that table saw. I think that was before the age of the riving knife, that table saw.
Back when people used to actually get hurt from kickback.
Yeah, something like that.
Get a Lowe's card, that way you can use the 5% discount on the discount plant racks.
No.
That's funny.
All of a sudden, your parking space is getting smaller.
Well, our Lowe's, when they have the discounted plant racks, those plants are usually like beyond.
They're death.
Like you're literally just buying the dirt that's in the cup. So how many of y'all have started another round of planting? I'm curious. We have. I just put more tomato seedlings in because our problem is, and we talked about this a little bit, I think last week, that everything is off a couple of weeks at least. And so our heat is just now coming in July. And normally by the end of May, we're hot. So our peppers and tomatoes, the seedlings that we put in are just now starting to get like super, prolific and starting to put out some fruit, but we've had some rough. What?
Well, see, that's funny that Windswept said Walmarts everywhere are short-staffed due to their not counting absences, so a lot of people are calling in daily.
Yeah, they're not counting absence right now, like against them.
Right, but we heard that in Ohio and in Arkansas, they are they've laid off a bunch of folks as cashiers because they're taking out the cashiers and putting self-checkout in everywhere. That's all you can do is self-checkout. And so if that trickles down and comes down through, we won't be shopping at Walmart for anything ever again. I will buy stuff off of Amazon to have it shipped to the house just so I won't have to pay that.
Oh, wow. Dee said not yet. Will be in the next week or so. I've planted cucumbers 3 times and still don't have any plants growing. I've bought the whole rack of plants at Lowe's for $20. Wow. We had a problem with everything. Got so much rain and then got hot and the plants couldn't. Yeah.
Second. We harvested our first bit of taters yesterday, and we did film a little bit of it, but it was kind of, I don't.
Well, normally when we plant our seed potatoes, we cut them up and split the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
This time we took the the seed potato and planted it whole. And I don't think that we were thrilled with that, the way that it grew. Not ours. We still have the cashier lanes, but usually only 3 to 4 open at a time. Yeah, you're not the only ones. I want an employee discount if I have to self-checkout.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that won't do the self-checkout.
I won't do it anywhere because, and Robin got frustrated with me one time, long time ago, and she said, why? I said, look at who your cashiers usually are. They're usually senior citizens that take a part-time job to try to help make ends meet or to make life a little bit easier because SSI and the Medicaid and all that's just not covering it. It's just not enough for them to live comfortably. Or it's young teenagers who are trying to get their foot in the door in the workforce.
Right.
So I'm going to support that.
Right.
You know, occasionally you will have your career employee there at Walmart that's somebody that's,
just been
30s,
there for
40s,
15, yeah.
But most of the time your cashiers are that fall in that category, and I'm going to support that. And it's not just at Walmart, but really anywhere.
I mean, if I want to wait on myself, I'll shop on Amazon.
Yeah.
So, so we just...
Because, I don't really see many seniors that are folks that are in their 60s, 70s, up, really wanting to learn a new career in IT so that way they can sit at the house and do IT work. Or, this is just something it helps keep them mobile, agile, and it helps their health. And it's just one of those things that I'm sorry, I'm not going to support taking that away.
Paul used to self-check at Walmart one time and got their checking account hacked. Huh.
Yeah, see?
That's interesting.
And if you want to put your tinfoil hat on for a minute and let's run the rabbit, everybody's heard about the coin shortage that's going on, right? I'm going to go ahead and be like Nostradamus here and make a little bit of a prediction. I'm betting that within this winter time, they're gonna say that the red dragon is being passed through money, and that's going to be their way to take out money.
Yeah. A lot of the elderly workers quit because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that.
You don't really want to, you don't see them stocking shelves or anything like that because they can't pick the stuff up.
Yeah. So, I've always been a huge supporter of the cash out. Credit only.
The cash out. The cashier people. And
why am I getting so tired?
Won't do a self-checkout.
Yeah. No.
I've had people at Sam's, Walmart, Home Depot, all of them say, sir, self-checkout's open. Are you going to give me a vest and a check? And they look at me like I'm smoking crack.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, look, I'm not coming here to give you my money to buy the product and
do your job for you.
And give you free labor. Not happening.
Not happening. If you're going to do that, you can give me a discount.
Yep.
Chris got his job because of a mass exodus from his company. I mean, There's a lot of people that went pretty crazy about it. Oh, I'm almost tired.
And let me ask this question, and maybe I shouldn't ask this question, and maybe we save it for next week's live stream. But what we all went through this Red Dragon, and we've seen how it shut the economy down, and seen how it shut certain businesses down. We all have heard the rumor that it's going to kick back up this winter.
This fall into the winter.
Fall and winter. Do you have a plan to be able to pay your bills if this thing continues to do stuff like this, and you're not an essential employee where you can't really work from home, or your place of employment gets closed because they're not considered essential?
Yeah, that's like Tori and Sydney. You know, she had shared that where she worked was not completely essential. Her position wasn't. So they shut everybody down. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's no... Don't get me started on masks.
Well. Look what the tofu drug in. Andy's Tennessee Life and Homestead. Well, hello, Andy.
Yeah.
I hope you are feeling better, sir. You wouldn't be so sick if you would stop eating tofu. Look, your southern redneck skinny booty, your body can't handle that tofu stuff. You throw it a complete shock. That's all your body's going through is a shock in your system.
No tofu. So Sherry asked me when did I cut my hair off. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you
She just doesn't
notice
love.
it.
She just doesn't love you as much as she loves our kids.
That's
it boils
probably
down
what
to.
it is. Yeah. Everybody's saying like right around election time is when it'll start pumping back up.
So my question to you is what are you doing now to be ready for that?
Yeah.
We were blessed. Robin's job is considered essential. So she was still able to go back and forth to work. We didn't miss a paycheck.
Mm-mm.
But we are also, when it's too hot outside, Robin and I are in here when we're together, and we are thinking.
No.
The moon's out.
Okay. The moon comes out every night, Dessa. It's not like he's like, I'm just going to stay in because of COVID-19. The moon comes out every night.
I'm talking about the thing that Mom found.
Oh, okay.
I wanna look, it's fine.
Okay, so gardening.
But how is gardening going to pay your mortgage, your house note, your
Electric bill.
electric bill?
Yeah. Floyd works for the school,
Mm-hmm.
so no work for him, but I'm overtime. How many of y'all have seen the school systems offering at-home schooling?
You're kind of going in a left field here.
I'm just curious.
I want to try to get people
No
thinking.
rest for the wicked. Saving what we can and canning meals, not just veggies this
Right.
year.
But how many of you have a certain skill that you could capitalize on all of this? You know? Because whether you believe COVID is a real thing or you don't believe COVID is a real thing, if you think it's just a way for them to get control, you still gotta, life is a chess game. So we have to move the pieces here. And we gotta play chess. And trust me when I tell you this, the people that we're playing against are masters of the game. But the masters get too cocky And so there's always room to make a move.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's lots of you out there that have crocheting skills, soap making skills. There's a lot of you in here that have gardens. We talked to a friend of ours that does a farmer's market over in South Carolina. And they made $500 this weekend.
No, just today.
Just today.
Just today.
Just today. Sorry, I thought it was for the whole week.
One day.
One day. 500 bones. They said the average, they make about $200 a day.
And they do one farmer's market every day except for Monday, and they do 2 or 3 on Saturdays usually. So
the money is out there to be made. If you can run meat birds, this GrowVeg tractor costs maybe a couple $100 to make, but you can put 25, 50 birds in one tractor. Even if you eat, so you go out and you order 100 birds, you build 2 of those tractors.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that you eat chicken once a week. You put 52 of those birds off to the freezer for yourself. You got 48 more to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the average price is going from $4 to $7 a pound. So that's $20 to $30 a bird.
There you go. We're going to be helping a friend butcher a cow in exchange for a cow to butcher for us.
There you go.
There you go.
Barter works out great. Doing stuff like that.
Homemade is becoming more appreciated now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those of you that have blacksmithing skills, you are going to be somebody that's going to be in high demand here pretty soon. If I had blacksmithing skills, I would be making nails and screws like it was nobody's business.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Because here's the thing. People are... One of the things that we learned this weekend, because I am in search for 2 25-pound dumbbells. That's all I want right now is 2 25-pound dumbbells.
And can't find them
because
anywhere.
I am doing this weight loss challenge and I can't go up and down my steps like I used to. And so there's a lot of different exercises that I can do with 2 25-pound dumbbells. I've been to Walmart. I've been to Academy. Online. They're hard to find because, according to the guy at Academy that I talked to yesterday, people are coming in and just buying up stuff to take them somewhere else to sell again.
At a higher price.
At a higher price. So you're gonna... He said the guy came in the other day and bought a van load. He just filled the van up with the swimming pools. And they were like $500 a piece swimming pools. Of course, Academy's not going to tell them, no, you can only buy 2. Bicycles. If you have bicycles, this is something else that he told us. You have children that have bicycles. Put them up. Lock them up. Don't let the kids leave them out in the yard like they used to. He said because bicycles is a big thing right now. Because everybody wants a bicycle. So these people are going around buying up the bicycles. And then when they got them all bought up, they've been going around in neighborhoods and stealing the ones that have been left out or not locked up. He said he's even heard some cases of them physically taking children off of bicycles that didn't have any adults around and taking the bicycles from the children. So, this is the type of world that we're living in now. I'm not saying this to be kind of fear-mongering or anything. This is just education. If your kids have bicycles and you have bicycles, lock them up at night. Even us out here in the country where you got to come down my quarter-mile driveway to get to my kids' bicycles, I am still making them put them up at night. They're locking them in with Gizmo, so if they can get around Gizmo and get the bikes, they can have them. But these are the things that we need to start to think about.
A man came in and bought up all of our pool filters so he can sell them at the flea market. Yeah. That's what's happening.
And
that's what...
You know what? That's somewhere that I did not think for us to go to look for those dumbbells.
flea market.
Is a flea market. We can go up to, what is it, Pooper Joe's or whatever it is. But
Jockey lot.
Jockey lot. Bartering with your neighbor that you know and stuff is getting to be more of a norm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I'm not trying to throw everybody in any type of panic here, but this is just a discussion that needs to have. This stuff's going to come around again. And we kind of got caught with our pants down last time. And I'm saying we got caught with our pants down last time. I'm talking about America. There's some of us in here that didn't get caught with their pants down because we've been slowly.
Although I will say we were getting close. Only because somebody decided he was going to have a stomach bug and blow through a half a case of toilet paper.
That was a bad week.
It was. And I had been looking for toilet paper and couldn't find it. And finally, I found it on Sam's Club. And we were good. But they also said that everywhere now, toilet paper's caught up. The supply has caught up with the demand. And so now it's not a problem. So the government has printed $8 trillion this year. 20% more money chasing scarcer goods. What do you think will happen to prices? So that's another thing is like, I saw somebody talking about meat shortages and the price of everything going up. One thing that we noticed that did not go up this whole time, at least in our area, was chicken. Chicken prices never went up. Pork went up and beef went up. Pork is starting to come back down. Beef is still hovering high. So, but... Which is going to turn around. Somebody brought up the thing about, I think somebody asked in there about meat shortages or something. Yeah.
This is where if you're not, this is why I encourage everybody to raise some rabbits, meat birds. Just ignore it. They're going to get you to laugh, and that's why they're putting it up there. But try to grow some of your own meat. Raise some of your own meat, because I'll tell you right now, we cannot handle rabbits here. Not yet. Once I get my stall barn put up, I'm probably going to go down, get some of Brett Broussard's does, and then find another buck relatively close by and start to do the rabbits again. Mm-hmm. But and here's another thing that you can do. If you've got let's say you got 2 acres, but your neighbor down the road has 5. There's nothing wrong with having a conversation with that neighbor and say, hey, let's work together. Let's go in. I'll build the chicken tractors. You buy X amount of chickens. I'll buy X amount of chickens. And we'll both start to take care of them on your property. And they'll help cut the grass, do all of this. And then we'll work together to process them. And then we each get half.
Right.
So if you went in for 100 birds, you'd get the birds cheaper. Each family then gets 50 birds. And you can do that once or twice in the summertime, in spring and summertime, if you get it timed right. And if you go ahead and start setting stuff up with people like McMurray, to where you get set up on a schedule to bring it out, you don't have to worry about whether or not they start selling out, because they're going to make sure you got your birds.
Yeah.
If this year, look, we started that seed saving series on the channel, but I'm really encouraging you guys, please start saving your seeds, because the more seeds that we can save ourselves as homesteaders, the less strain it puts on seed companies like Baker Creek.
Right. And the other thing, too, that we, at first I was a little stressed about it, but then I realized that for us it doesn't matter because we're not reselling any of our seeds. But, worrying about if things get cross-pollinated or whatever, a squash is a squash, y'all. A
For
cucumber's
us.
a cucumber.
Right.
You know, so as long as you're not planning on selling them and labeling them something, it's really not as big of a deal worrying about if your tomatoes cross-pollinate or whatever. Because really, when you plant that seed the next year, it's going to revert back the following year anyway, right? Doesn't? Because an F1 usually will go back to its original. So as long as you're growing different varieties that you like, if you get a hybrid, you're not going to... You know, like we had some okra that we grew. We grew some Perkins long pods and some burgundies right next to each other. And we ended up with some burgundy long pods. And at the end of the day, that didn't bother us because we still liked the okra. It didn't turn woody, and so it was fine. So saving those seeds was not a big deal. If we get the burgundy long pods, that's great. If we only get Perkins long pod or we only get the burgundy, that's okay too. So, you know... The Lysol is in short supply because they're going to be spraying down little kids before and after school.
You know, and look, Old Ways New Times has a great video out on making your own
disinfectant wipes.
Making your own wipes. Guys, there's a lot of stuff that you can do at your own house. And I use the Red Dragon as an example or a motivator. But look, these are all steps. These are all steps that you are taking to become more self-reliant.
Yeah.
More self-reliant. And at the end of the day, that's where true freedom comes from. Right. At the end of the day, being able to go out into your front lawn like what Robin does every night when she's making dinner.
Lunch, dinner, breakfast.
She goes... And at first, I wasn't putting two and two together. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm going to the store.
I'm going grocery shopping.
Like, what do you mean you're going to the store? You're not going to the store looking dressed the way that you're dressed.
I would go out in my house shoes and my pajamas, and like I'd carry a little bucket with me. And he's like, what are you doing? And part of it was because, you know, we have on our door chimes. And so the door would chime, and he's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm going grocery shopping. He's like, what are you doing going grocery shopping? And I was like, out in the front, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so I go out with and that's another thing that I did was in the off season, we invested in some pruning shears, the small pruning shears, and they were on sale because it was the off season. And so we grabbed them, and I've been using those to actually cut everything off, so it's made it a lot easier. Like peas are ridiculous trying to get them off of the vine. So you take those, you know, all of a sudden you can be picking peas and you've got a bucket full in no time.
Just like Robin brings up a good point about off seasons. Right now, stuff in the stores are starting to slowly switch. They're starting to put the patio furniture, the outdoor furniture and stuff starting to go on sale. Mm-hmm. You're going to start to see things like pool noodles go on sale, barbecue equipment go on sale, kiddie pools are going to go on sale. And if you wonder why I emphasize that, Roots and Refuge, they have a good video of turning a kiddie pool into like a little mini raised bed, and she grew greens, or she grew something in there. And so you can you go get, you know, I think I've seen them in Walmart
like
as
$5.
the season. Like I saw them near the end of the season, they were like $3 or $2.
Yeah.
So you can go in there and buy 5, 6, 7 of them, and they're deep enough that you could even grow some of your root vegetables in there. You could grow some radishes in there. You could grow some turnips, beets, some of your shorter carrots.
Some carrots, but they might go squat. But like they have like an oxheart carrot that would probably do really well. Some of the more squat carrots would probably do okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you could do a bed of lettuce. You could do all different kinds of stuff. So, yeah, that's one thing that we have definitely enjoyed. And the best part is that we were sitting down eating yesterday, or was it this afternoon? What did we have for lunch today? Oh, no, it wasn't. It was yesterday. We sat down to eat, and I said, do you guys like eating this way? and the girls were like kind of looking at us. I was like, you know, where everything is fresh right out of the garden, and you know, and they were like, well, yeah, it's really good, you know. And that's one thing I never truly appreciated. Like, now our plates have so much color. Like, everything we eat has so
like a
much
thing with
color.
You. That's a thing with you where with me, I'm gonna like, this has got so much flavor.
Flavor, yeah. Well, it definitely has flavor, but like orange eggplant, and then purple eggplant, and then, you know, some bright orange or red or yellow tomatoes, or all of these, you know, rich green color green peppers, and like throwing that red onions and putting it all together. It's like, we had bruschetta chicken the other night, and it was fantastic. It had some of our tomatoes and the garlic and the onion, and the basil was from our basil. And so, you know, we put all of that together and mixed it all up, and it was phenomenal. It was so good. And I think that was when I asked the girls, I was like, do you guys like eating like this? Because if you do, I'm really going to need your help with trying to keep things alive, keep things watered, you know, things like that, because I can't do it all by myself.
And, you know, and if you live in small places like a townhome or apartment, you need to go check out Mama Z's Texas Kitchen channel. She hasn't popped up in the chat for a little bit, so I don't know exactly how her channel is worded. I know it's Mama Z.
Mama Z's Kitchen.
Mama Z's. I thought it was Texas Kitchen.
Texas Kitchen, maybe, yeah.
Because she has she lives in an apartment in Texas, and she has a phenomenal little patio type garden where she's growing a lot of stuff, and then she's doing cooking videos to cook with it. So I know there are a lot of folks. There's probably not many folks in here because we dropped down to like 25 people. But sometimes people can get intimidated with cooking the fresh stuff. So you've got to go to some of these resources. And YouTube, y'all, is free. It's free.
Mama Z's Texas Kitchen. There you go.
You know?
TJ said, if I was able to eat at your house, my system would go into shock. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. When we first started eating nothing but fresh, we all had a little bit of a cleansing moment, because we started doing, like, just for instance, like, we would do shrimp primavera. And, you know, shrimp primavera may only call for, like, some broccoli or some, you know, a couple of vegetables. We were going to get everything. Like, any vegetable that I had that was growing, I went and picked one of everything or two of everything, and we went, chopped it all up and threw it in there. Well, Mom, it doesn't say, like, for instance, today we were supposed to have some kind of, it's like a cheese tortellini salad, pasta salad, okay? And so, of course, the pasta we had to get, but other than that, everything else was going to go from our garden. Well, the problem with that is I didn't cook it. So Carol is very big about following the directions. If the directions say just tomatoes and onions, that's all she's going to put in it is tomatoes and onions.
You grew some very healthy spring onions this year. And I'll put it to you this way. Walking in the garden with Papaw, that was one of my things that I used to love to do with him. Because he would plant a bunch of spring onions, but he used to call them scallions.
Scallions, yeah.
Scallions.
Yeah.
And we'd go out there and pick them, and we'd
eat them right there. Peel off the root, yeah.
Peel off the root, and put a little salt and pepper on them, and then just eat them.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was so funny because we harvested the onions that I had planted, hoping they would actually be big onions, and they didn't because I didn't thin them properly, which is fine. So we ended up with a bunch of spring type onions there that we use, and we had them drying to be able to use. And I was pulling other onions, and Jason's like, where are you getting all those spring onions from? I was like, oh, I had another bed over on the other side. And I should have never told him that, because now he's going out there and eating all my fresh onions.
I learned my lesson because of the. Can
Radish?
I get some more tea, too, please? I learned my lesson with the whole wasabi radish, and Okay, she left her phone in here. And so I don't really go picking anything. Okay. All right, let me give y'all an update on the birthday party for Robin. It is going to be July 18th. It's a Saturday. I need to know if you are coming or not ASAP. It's going to be kind of like a murder mystery kind of thing where it's going to be really cool. Some of the people that are coming, I'm already starting to put them, plan it out where I'm going to put them in certain spots to where Robin is going to be handed an envelope that basically starts the game. And she's going to read it, and then that's going to prompt her to either call somebody or go to a certain place. If she's going to go somewhere like a Starbucks or something, I'm going to put a couple of bucks in there and tell her to go order this thing. And then she's going to be surprised by one of y'all that have come from out of town to here. And then we're gonna have her running around all kinds of crazy, and then when you folks are done, after she gets your envelope done, then everybody beats feet here to help us set up the decorations and get everything prepared for when she comes walking in. The girls are making decorations. You do not have to get Robin a gift because your gift will be you coming and participating, but I am going to ask okay, it was just Carol. I am going to ask that if you want any type of alcoholic drink, bring your own, because we're not going to be supplying alcohol. And that if you're coming, to be willing to be participating in this scavenger hunt, let me know when she's coming, and kind of thing. So so as soon as you guys can let me know, my phone number is 706-961-8157. And so with those, when you're doing the chickens and everything like that, that was the real cool thing about that meal that Robin was talking about. Those chickens, those broilers, the breast got so big that I actually told Robin, I said, it was just too much to eat. That maybe we should have filleted it in half to what? Feel better?
No.
Okay. Fillet that chicken in half so that way it wasn't so kind of overwhelming and everything. So that's one of the downfalls, I guess. Not really a downfall with those broilers or the Red Rangers, is that some of them can get like, and so the breast was really big, and and it was.
Oh yeah, you have to fillet the breast.
You got to fillet it down.
Yeah. So, as I see where Windswept said she successfully grew carrots this year. That was a big empowering thing for me too. Was growing carrots this year was a pretty big thing.
I just want to brag for a moment. Now that she's back, Robin took over the garden. Y'all saw the video where she ooga booga'd me, and she kind of took over the garden. Well, Robin has just jumped both feet in with growing this garden. And I think she's talked with Jess a little bit, and she's talked with Dee a lot of bit, and I think she's even probably talked with Mama Oldways a little bit, and she has been just diving in and soaking up a bunch of gardening knowledge, whether it's through some of y'all's videos or books and stuff that she's reading. But she has grown things that I have struggled growing here in Georgia for a long time. Like those spring onions, I could never get them to grow. And I'm telling y'all, those spring onions are phenomenal. I would have one right here now to show y'all.
Like the kale.
But, yeah. What are you doing, Carol? Not eating kale chips.
That was hilarious. I've been growing. I grew this kale, and we had a couple of really heavy rains, and all of a sudden the kale just like took off.
Night, Yellow Rose. Thanks for coming by.
And then we didn't really do anything with it, and started looking at it, and I'm like, I gotta do something with this kale. Like, I just grew it in vain if we don't do anything with it. And we had cut a couple pieces to put in some soups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
it was good in the soups, and then that Italian dish that you make, the one that you want to make all the time, but I gotta limit how many times you can make it because I'm not that soupa Toscana.
But that's a soup. Yeah. But anyway, so the other thing too about here in Georgia is the heat will usually turn it bitter. So I got to a point where I was like, and maybe I just have to harvest it and give it to the pigs. Well, I picked a piece off and it wasn't bitter. And so I was like, well, then I need to go ahead and just do something with it. So Chris had mentioned maybe fermenting it, and we still haven't gotten around to doing that.
Well, here's the thing about I'm scared of fermented food.
Yeah, because then you like it and you start to eat it, and then it tears up your stomach because you eat too much too quick.
Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. When y'all are learning something from Doug, from Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, man's got a tremendous amount of knowledge. Mm-hmm. Man is also a practical joker. He turned us on. He was talking about how Stacy did fermented carrots and how they tasted like candy. And so we made them. And I could not, those things were like candy. Mm-hmm. And I ate like a half a gallon jar in like 2 sittings. And I called him, I was like, dude, love the fermented carrots. Man, I just ate like half a gallon of them in like 2 sittings. And he's like, oh, you're fixing to go through a cleanse. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? He said, you ate too much too fast. Could have told somebody that beforehand. The next thing you know, boy, pooping through a screen door.
Yeah.
But
well, the worst part about that was it wasn't just the carrots. You were also eating sourdough bread and drinking kombucha. So it was kind of like fermented overload.
my body was like, all right, we got to make the fat boy pump their brakes.
Yeah.
Let's just get rid of everything.
So they were talking about growing carrots, and Mama T said it took a while for me to successfully grow carrots too. Clay in our area is a pain. So we have a problem with that. The clay and the rocks makes it very difficult. Once we grew in a raised bed this year, the carrots did phenomenal this year. Mm-hmm. So you just have to make sure that you have a good soil that's conducive to growing carrots. Like you have to have a little bit of sandy, it has to have a little bit of a sand texture so that it kind of gives as the roots grow. That's huge that I learned this year, because even without spacing, because some of them we didn't space very well. Yes, we did have smaller carrots, but they still made carrots. You know, we had quite a few, and if I had gotten Jason to do like how he does with the radishes, which he will do in the fall, because he'll find out that he has permission to eat the carrots.
Yes!
He'll start thinning those out as well, and so then our carrot production will be really good too. So, but yeah, we
haven't gotten around to dehydrating our citrus yet. Right now, we're still doing the bananas and the pineapples because they're mostly at Aldi. They're the things that are on sale right now. But as soon as the lemons start hitting it, we're going to do some, but we're also beefing up on our lemon essential oil, all of our citrus essential oils
as
too.
Well. Yeah. And then also I saw where Amy said that they've picked a lot of elderberry, so.
Oh, I got to go back there and look. Mm-hmm. See if any of that See.
What?
We have all that elderberry back there.
Probably not. You probably got a lot of cows with some elderberry in their bellies.
We gotta go back there and get a bunch of cuttings and stuff because I wanna lace this upper part over here once we get those trees down with elderberries.
Yeah.
So we're doing. I mean, if you don't live in an HOA. Okay? Seriously consider redoing your landscape and redo it with an edible landscape. Put those raised beds in that front yard to get rid of that good for nothing turf grass. Because with that turf grass, you got to water it, you got to cut it, you got to fertilize it, dethatch it, aerate it. You got a lot of work that you're going to have to do
for nothing
for turf grass.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that we do here, I do like, look, I'm a fan of turf grass. I like the way grass looks. I like the way grass feels. Okay? But we have taken over our front yard with raised beds. Now, it is like the what's the word? The maze of Pac-Man or something to try to get the grass cut. But we go in there and cut that grass.
Good night, Nee.
And then I take that grass to the turkey coop and I dump that grass into the turkey coop because it's gotten all the crickets and the grasshoppers, but it's also got the other seed heads and stuff like that the turkeys are eating. I don't have to feed my turkeys. They're scratching on it. They're eating it up. They're chewing it up. They're going to town with it. It keeps the flies down because we also have the quail in there, and quail are messy eaters, so the stuff that they scatter out, the turkeys are also eating. But this winter, I'm going to go in there and sift all of that, and I'm going to have good compost coming out of that turkey coop.
So, Mama Donna asked, I have a lot of dry elderberry. Do you think I could plant some and it would germinate? There's an easy way to find that out.
Just do it.
Well, do a Ziploc bag with paper towel. Put a Ziploc bag, paper towel, wet the paper towel, put the elderberry in there on the paper towel, and put it in the windowsill. Give it some sun. See if it germinates. That's the only way you're going to really truly know. I mean, try it and see.
If I was to take, it looks like we're going to have a decent crop of peaches this year. We won't have enough to sell because we only got one peach tree right now that's producing. But if I take all of the pits from these peaches and I get them started and they germinate,
them and then germinate them,
and they germinate, how many of y'all would be interested in purchasing that peach tree from us? Because it's a little bit of work, so I want to know if I've got the market for it. And
if not, well, I mean, we're going to at least plant.
I'm going to do a couple of them because I want to beef up ours around here.
Well, and I'd also like to plant one, like maybe out in our back pasture. Woodchuck found out I had a garden today. I'm planning on overhauling.
The great thing about a woodchuck, it's like a $12 fix. $2.20 conibear, and you'll take care of him. And I can sell you that conibear.
I would.
Okay.
They're good. They're freestone. They're not a clean peach, so they're definitely a freestone. And they do really well. We inherited the tree, and they didn't prune it well, and so Jason had to hard prune it last year. And it's doing really well, but
I'm gonna have to hard prune it one more time in the fall. That other branch it's not putting out what I like, so I'm just gonna take it off and just let it have that one stalk coming straight out.
You can't have fruit trees. Aw.
And I'm gonna start trying to. We've got some other fruit trees that hopefully will start producing here pretty soon. Fig tree. We got plum, and some other stuff up there that I'm going to start trying to get some of those to germinate by seed too, and see what we can do.
I would.
Yeah, it can be.
So, yeah.
It's going. Yeah, you would.
And if you prune it the way that you want it to go, it won't. You know what I'm saying? It won't.
Yeah.
Get super, super, super tall. You just have to prune it, you know, to do the way that you want it to grow.
Yeah, you could grow it in a container. Because it's probably not going to produce any fruit for the first 3 years anyway.
Couple of years, yeah.
But you prune it and train it, prune it and train it. You can get it that way. So.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, once again, I look up at the time. We've been on almost 2 hours, honey.
Critter Brother goes, first raccoon with the new traps we got for you. Second night set.
Yes.
Nice.
Good job.
Yay.
Good job.
Awesome possum.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. So Robin and I want to remind you guys to plant smiles.
Grow giggles.
And harvest the love, baby. Yeah. Turn off the news. Just turn it off.
Don't pay attention to it.
Don't listen to it. Go out and talk to your neighbor. Be kind to one another. Random acts of kindness will make this world a better place. Be kind to each other. Love on each other. Support one another. Start making your plans now for your fall garden and to be able to put stuff up in case they lock everything down again.
Yep.
Happy 4th of July. Recycle, reuse, repurpose. Keep things out of the landfill and give this planet a chance.
Y'all be safe.
Y'all be safe. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye, y'all.
God bless.